If you're into nerd culture, then at some point in your life, you've considered growing a big LEGO collection, and more than likely, you've played a PlayStation game. I was born in 1997, and in 2005, a legendary game called LEGO Star Wars came out, and it comprised of episode 1 through 3, which was still coming out at the time. It quickly became a bestseller, and for many babies of the late 90s and early 2000s, the LEGO series of video games was likely on your Christmas list most years. In the middle of 2020, Nintendo and LEGO teamed up and started a collaboration, bringing Mario to LEGO, as well as a limited edition NES LEGO set. When this was announced, it got me thinking, LEGO should team up with Sony and bring some licensed sets out from iconic Sony games. The first that comes to mind is the Jak and Daxter series. I think Samus' hut with minifigs of Daxter, Jak, Kiera, and Samus would be super cool, and same with the palace. Jak has really cool, complex vehicles, both in the city and the wasteland, and they could create really cool sets off of that, much similar to how they do with ships in Star Wars. The next obvious choice would be of the consoles, like how they did with Nintendo. Since Sony likely has so many PlayStation classics and motherboards that never sold, they could sell them via PS1 LEGO sets, right? And have them be placed inside the model, kind of acting like a STEM set LEGO produces, and it could essentially be a DIY PlayStation classic but with LEGOs, and of course the set would be nice and big like a PlayStation 1 Fat. Even if they didn't include a board, then they'd do well still just as models of the console. I for one would enjoy a cool PlayStation console collection from LEGO. At the launch of the PlayStation 5, the free-to-play platformer Astro's Playroom launched with high praise, and there was a mini set area all throughout the levels to show off the characters of PlayStation Pass in their own set pieces. And this could serve as a template for the LEGO sets of each series. I'm sure there would be a big set here and there, as I mentioned earlier, but small $30 sets of PlayStation, but in the vein of Obi-Wan's hut or the 501st clone set, would play out very well and fit the budget to collect them all if LEGO chose to do sets based off the templates in Astro's Playroom. These sets would likely be small, but comprised of iconic PlayStation characters and small sets, maybe Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus van, or Jak and a hover bike. The more interesting side of LEGO sets based on PlayStation properties is that there are already several sets based off video games that have become bestsellers and somewhat of collector's items. PlayStation is a prime target to promote the sets, as many of the games PlayStation has published has become some of the highest performing games of all time. PlayStation games are often created into figures, which I own several of, and they are some of my favorite parts within my collection. And as I blossom into a LEGO collector, the sets I've amassed have made me quite interested in more video game sets, as I am a video game collector before a collector of anything else. Whether LEGO would ever make PlayStation sets is anyone's guess, but I feel that fans everywhere would be more than willing to buy into the series, as well as start campaigns for sets in their favorite games. Maybe each season be themed after a particular series. I could see winter being themed after God of War, spring being themed after Uncharted, summer off of Jak and Daxter, and then when we get around to the fall, maybe an infamous Second Son type series run for the LEGO series based off PlayStation games. I would be thrilled at the prospect of PlayStation and LEGO having crossovers, but for now, we can only dream. Until next time, hasta luego.